Today, the earth trembles in fear and a new hero emerges. What is it they fear? Peace. That might sound like an outrageous claim, but consider the contentious meeting in the Oval Office between President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. At issue just beneath the surface is Zelensky's demand that he insist on negotiating publicly that the U.S. minerals deal he was there to sign needs to include security guarantees. This brings to mind a negotiation U.S. President Teddy Roosevelt was involved in. He assumed the presidency in September of 1901. Early in his presidency, he intervened in the Great Coal Strike of 1902. This was the first time a U.S. president involved himself in a labor dispute. When he intervened, coal miners of the United Mine Workers of America, or UMW, the largest labor union at the time, had gone on strike against the so-called Coal Trust, which consisted of several coal mines, the most prominent of which were the Philadelphia and Reading Coal and Iron Company, the Lehigh Valley Coal Company, the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad Company, the Eric Railroad Company, and the Pennsylvania Railroad Company. The president summoned a meeting with the coal mine owners, represented by the Philadelphia and Reading Coal and Iron Company president George Baer, and John Mitchell, the coal miners' representative and president of the UMW. Roosevelt said that he was there to represent the public interest. The meeting was held in October 1902. The northeastern United States was dependent on coal from these mines to heat homes and businesses, so the approaching winter threatened an economic and humanitarian crisis if the mines didn't reopen soon. According to the book Leadership in Turbulent Times by Doris Kearns Goodwin, at the initial meeting, Mitchell proposed that the coal miners return to work immediately, and that in the meantime, Roosevelt appoint a commission to review all the issues in contention, and that the miners and coal mine owners accept the decision of the commission. The coal mine owners rejected the idea, saying that they could not agree to any proposition advanced by Mitchell. According to Goodwin, in the weeks that followed, Secretary of War Elihu Root realized something after reviewing the transcript of the initial meeting. The mine owners didn't reject the idea of a commission. They only opposed it because it was Mitchell's idea. Root met with J.P. Morgan to help him convince the mine owners to come up with the idea themselves and propose it as if it were their own. They proposed the Anthracite Coal Strike Commission, which would comprise 5 members representing each of these categories: a military officer, an expert mining engineer, a Pennsylvania judge, a businessman familiar with the buying and selling of coal, an eminent sociologist. The lack of a labor representative was initially a non-starter, until it occurred to President Roosevelt that the owners didn't care who was on the commission, except for maybe John Mitchell. They just didn't want someone with the title of labor representative. Once he realized this, Roosevelt appointed E. Clark, a labor leader who was the head of the Order of Railway Conductors. Several days later, the dispute was solved. The miners went back to work and catastrophe was averted. The lesson here is that the mine owners didn't object to the presence of someone in organized labor as long as their presence wasn't acknowledged as such. And that brings us back to Zelensky's desire for a security guarantee. Russia's red line is Ukrainian NATO membership and the security guarantee that goes along with it. They will not accept any deal that involves NATO membership or a security guarantee. Using this demand as a guide, they are certain to reject any deal in which there is an explicit security guarantee from the U.S. military to protect Ukraine. But if the U.S. is operating rare earth mineral mines, the implication is that the U.S. has an interest in the security of their investment, and thus a long-term interest in the stability of Ukraine that will outlast the current administration. This is how you get the Russians to the negotiation table, President Zelensky. And that is how you end the war. If you like this video, please share and like the channel. Thanks for watching.